All right, welcome back. Hope everyone had a nice little break. We are here ready to give you some awesome XRC action with our round robin 5 alliance format. Don't mind too much the nicknames that you see on your screen. We're just, or not the nicknames. What am I saying? I meant the ranks. I meant the ranks that you see on your screen.
The names that you do see on the screen are accurate, though.
They are good. They are good. Maybe I should have taken a break during my nap. A nap during the break. Getting this match started, we're gonna see our number 1 alliance, captained by Brennan4476, partnered with Nick862 and Colin on the red alliance. They're gonna be facing off against what I believe is the number 4 alliance. It's either 4 or 3, I don't remember off the top of my head. RJ9, Labib, and Bacon, just while my computer opens up our bracket. But it's going to be super exciting. We've definitely got some interesting metas. This is, again, our first elimination round where we had the, the other robots as an option. And we're definitely seeing some of those come into play. Particularly, we've seen a lot of the one from the Neutrons. We've seen them kind of come out in full force, ready to use that robot with that turreting power. Didn't see a ton of 2481, but we are gonna hopefully maybe see them, come out. There is lots of time. Everyone's gonna play each other once, and then from there we're gonna go on to figure out who our finalists are. So maybe we'll see a bunch of different strats coming out. But enough about that. Should be good to get this match underway shortly. At the beginning of playoffs. I'd also like to introduce our second announcer for today. Joining us in eliminations, this is Jeff.
Hello.
That was Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. But now we'll get this match underway in just a few moments. You see, actually in front of you, jumping the gun for me, we're already through autonomous mode. So it is the Blue Alliance here, underdogs with the lead out of auto. We do see actually the Blue Alliance completely reverting to that old FRC OG robot compared to the Red Alliance, which has elected to use the 125 robot for Colin with that turreted shooter. Brennan4476 putting up a volley of shots on their own. Red is down for now, but Blue Alliance still close to them. Definitely seeing, though, that autonomous lead helping them out significantly, that Blue Alliance there. But Colin playing some defense right now on Bacon. Bacon really trying to annoy Brennan and Nick, who are looking to shoot, but Bacon unable to get past Colin, will have to live to fight another day. Instead, going back, we are up to a tie now, but Labib about to put in a cycle. It makes it a lot closer, or not closer, makes it a bit more secure for that Blue Alliance, as now Red will have to respond. Brennan and Nick coming around. Nick already lined up and cycling. We did see Brennan got that hit on Bacon. That last power cell in his cycle missed. So, especially with the new robots, we haven't been seeing as much defense. And it looks like Bacon actually may be getting caught out here. Does respawn. So that's a tech foul assigned to the Blue Alliance. Gonna help out the Red as Red is down. And this is not a best 2 out of 3 series. They lose this and they carry it with them for the rest of elims until the finals. So 318 to 331. Blue Alliance putting up a big fight here. They really want to take home this win against the alliance of Brennan, Nick, and Colin, and Bacon getting spawned out yet again. Teams haven't been doing as much defense lately, having focused on these new bots, and we're seeing it come back to haunt them a little bit. 379 to 374 now your score. It continues to be a very close match. Colin now playing the counter defense for Nick and Brennan, who are able to get up full volleys of shots. 415 to 412. It doesn't get much closer than that with 15 seconds left in the match. It's all going to come down to the climb. So we're going to see who's able to get a better balance. And it looks like Red Alliance may have the advantage having that one very secure center robot. Colin already up before the other two get up at all. Looks like at the end it may end up going to the Red Alliance, 548 to 502, but a very good fight put up by that Blue Alliance of RJ, Bacon, and Labib, really putting in the effort there, but just not having the same endgame capabilities. But, you know, they were outscored, or they did outscore their opponents in teleop. It was the penalties and the endgame that came back to haunt them. So, you know, definitely things that they can refine for later matches. But Jeff, tell me what you think you saw in that match. What do you think made the difference?
I do think, aside from the tech fouls, one thing that I noticed was that any power cells that the Blue Alliance left behind, if Colin was able to grab them, he quickly grabbed them and was able to shoot them with that turret while playing counter defense at the same time. And I think those little additions add up.
Oh, for sure. I think that's definitely one of the things that we saw kind of separate these two alliances. What I'm curious to see is how, I think teams now know, like, okay, we know Colin's going to be playing some defense using the 125 robot. We're going to see them kind of predict that, see if they're able to, get ready for a turreted robot. Again, it's always good to know what your competitors are going to do. But we are now going to move on to our next match of the evening here in our round-robin style eliminations. We're going to see our second alliance face off against our third alliance. So, captained by Anthony, we have Cone and Rude Rooster on red, versus the Blue Alliance, captained by Greg, who picked up Richard and Jake. Except Jake and Richard actually is the order. So we'll just wait till that score is confirmed, and I believe it has been. So, yes, it has. So we are going to get this match underway. Jeff, why don't you take it away for us?
All right. And one thing before the match even starts, you'll notice that Greg, Jake, and Richard, Greg and Richard are actually both using the 125 bot, while Jake is still using that OG bot. So we'll see if that does make a difference for the Blue Alliance. Getting this match underway in 3, 2, 1. Starting off in double points would be auto, but this is FRC Sim. We do not have autonomous in our realm. Right away, 2 Red Alliance bots shooting before the Blue Alliance bots get going. Looks like Red is done shooting. 132 for the Red, 114 for Blue. Blue is going to have to make up that gap. Jake immediately going to the human loading station. Rooster and Richard battling it out in the rendezvous point. Cone already back shooting a volley, as well as Anthony. Rooster and Richard still duking it out in that rendezvous point as Jake unloads a volley of power cells. Rooster going to make sure that some of those miss. Greg coming back. Greg very quickly sending all those power cells. Looks like most of them made it into the inner port, so that'll be bonus points for them. And Blue has actually taken back the lead, but right as I say that, Red, Cone firing a couple last power cells, and we are at 217 to 212, a 5-point game. A minute and a half left to go, 235 to 220, but Greg is unloading for the Blue Alliance, keeping that score very close. This is a very tight match. The lead is pivoting back and forth. Richard and Rooster looking like they're duking it out near the rendezvous. Neither of them getting a pin circle. And Anthony and Cone come and free Rooster as Richard goes to collect more power cells. Greg back at it again at the initiation line. Wow, I lost my words. Anthony and Rude Rooster both unloading. Greg at the loading station. There's so many power cells flying around in this match. The match is still pretty close. It looks like a 50-point difference, but that is nothing when you factor in the cycle times that these two alliances have. They are fast cyclers, and it seems that throughout elims they're just going to be getting faster. Richard hoping to disrupt the Red Alliance scoring. Anthony misses a power cell, but Cone is able to counter D. Rooster unloading a volley from that turret. 30 seconds left. We are entering the end game. Jake able to unload, as well as Greg right behind him. Richard looking to do the same. Red picking up from their loading station. Cone, we'll see if he does a last cycle or if he goes to climb. Looks like he still has a bunch of power cells. Nobody in the rendezvous point to start climbing. And right as they say that, Rooster getting that easy center climb. Blue, no robots on Blue. Oh, that might have been contact. We'll have to hear from our head ref, Kavi, about that. But as it stands, at the end of the match, unofficially 557 to 504 in favor of Red Alliance. There was a lot going on in that match. So before we wait for that final call from our head ref, Tegan, what did you notice in that match?
Yeah, so now that we know that match is under review, just got that note in from our head referee, we are going to definitely notice, like, there was some different strategies coming out. We saw that Red Alliance really heavily relying on Cone and Anthony's scoring capabilities. Cone putting in 220 points in that match. I think the biggest thing for me is that this matchup really makes me ask the question, did the number 1 alliance take the right pick? Nick 862 and Cone for 946, both very good options, but this one while you're right, it was a very close match, this makes me think a lot about the bigger picture. And at the same time, Greg doing an incredible job capturing that alliance. I think that's an alliance that will show a lot of an ability to adapt. We saw them, a little bit down at auto, but 114 auto points is definitely nothing to kind of stick your nose up at. It's something that they would be able to, maybe look at improving on for later matches. So I think, I learned a lot here, and definitely was a good match to watch. So you're right. I think we are still looking at that contact after the match. We're going to see what exactly happened, and we're going to get a ruling from a head ref in a moment, or in a little bit. Not trying to rush, just trying to fill you in on what's happening. But in the meantime, I would like to preview our next match. So going on to this next match, I have to pull up the elims bracket. Just having some issues with the VOD, so hang tight, stick with us. We are going to be seeing Alliance number 3 versus Alliance number 4. So actually, this was Alliance number 5 over on... this was Alliance 5. It was captained by Jake. He picked Greg, and then Richard was the other pick. So this was Alliance 5, not necessarily favored, but definitely put up a very good score. So next we're going to see Alliance 3 versus Alliance 4. We've already seen Alliance 4. We saw them against the number 1 seed in our first match of the day. But we'll definitely be, looking to see if they can improve, because they did put up a very strong showing. Any predictions?
I mean, it's hard to tell. Every alliance so far, I believe, has put up more than 500 points, which is absolutely insane scores.
For sure. And I mean, we didn't see a lot of that. There were a few matches in the qualification rounds where we saw things like that, but these scores are going to be incredibly high. I know we had matches. I believe our high score in quals was, give me just a moment to take a look. High score in quals was 587 is the highest I can find here, I think. Yeah, 587, and I believe that was clean. So, I mean, while we're not going to see maybe people trying to get that extra ranking point, people are still scoring upwards of 100 and some point, they're still scoring upwards of 120 power cells. They're not too worried about that. There is more defense in elims, just because there aren't the ranking points to fight over, but we may still see things like that come through. And of course, auto score being the first tiebreaker right now does give that number 4 alliance a bit of an advantage.
Right, and something to notice in this match is that the red and blue alliance, there was only 6 power cell difference. Yet taking into account, let's see, that 15 points, still that's, oh god, quick math. That's 38 points over 6 power cells. That's, that, to me, that shows that the red alliance, not only did they score 6 more power cells, but they also had to have been more accurate. Because there's no way. Yeah, there's no way.
And they were down in autonomous.
Exactly.
Right? They were
blue
down in autonomous. No,
blue
sorry,
coming up. But they made a comeback. They were close.
Okay. Yeah, so the accuracy really is what matters here more than anything. Because, and I think we're seeing some issues with, I'm not sure how well people have been able to dial in those other robots, which is why we may be seeing a lot of these people reverting to that OG robot. Like Colin, we saw him basically only running 2481's robot in quals, and now the number 1 alliance has got him working on something different. So, and that's totally fine. That's the awesome part about having multiple robots. But it's interesting to see that, we're kind of leaving those off-meta things behind here as teams try to duke it out for the number 1, for one of the spots in finals.
We do have an update. The score from that previous match will stand. There is no change. 557 to 504 in favor of that red alliance. So we're going to be moving on to our next match, round robin number 3.
So we're going to be again seeing alliance number 3 for the first time thus far. That's going to be Panda, Yan Yang, and Jack 155. Your third alliance. They're going to be facing off against RJ9, Bacon, and Labib. So we've already seen Alliance 4. They put up a score of 502, and they had a good autonomous compared to the number 1 seed. So maybe we'll be able to see some interesting stuff come out from them this match. Maybe they're a little bit more warmed up, perhaps. We also see that we see the number 5 alliance, RJ, Bacon, the number 5 alliance, the number 4 alliance. I'm trying to speak and I can't use words. Number 4 alliance going for all OG robots. Number 3 going for one of those neutrons for the extra turret ability. We'll see if that pays off for him.
And something to keep in mind going into this match is that RJ9 actually declined Panda.
For sure. So this is where he finds out if it was the right call. We'll see how it goes. But as robots are on the move, looks like the first one to shoot will be Yang for Red Alliance. First on the board, but we'll see if they're able to be first, in power cells scored. And it looks like they do have the early advantage here, 127 to 108. So Blue Alliance not necessarily getting the autonomous advantage they wanted, not the one they had last time, but they're going to be clawing back. Bacon and Labib already hard at work. RJ9 also lined up, firing away. We'll see if the decision to use the Neutrons robot is going to be what makes or breaks the result for this Red Alliance, as they are currently down now by 7 points. Panda really having to deal with that defense from Bacon, but able to get all of those shots in. Now 1 or 2 miss, but the issue is you see here, Jack 155 is dealing with defense, but also able to score. So when he's dealing with the defense coming in from Bacon, he can still be putting up those power cells, which means he's using his time twice as efficiently as someone else may be doing. Right now, it is a Blue Alliance advantage, but not by much, as we just hit 1 minute and 20 seconds left. It is 278 to 256. Right now on your board, Blue Alliance with the advantage here. So they clawed their way back. They were down out of auto, but they are not going to say we're out yet. They are here, and they are here to fight. With a minute left in the match, they've crossed 300 points here, 302 to 325. So a very close match. Again, only 5 power cells actually differing these two alliances, and that's basically the difference you see, plus a little bit of precision right now. 50 seconds left with 30 points separating these two teams. We see all 3 robots on red trying to score at once, Jack being the one to face the defender and able to continue to score thanks to that turret. So we see defense here being maybe a little less effective than it has been in previous tournaments, because look at that. 2 shots go into that inner port despite Labib's defense coming in. With 30 seconds left, it is the Blue Alliance with the advantage. So they're still able to put up more cycles just by pure speed. But Red Alliance really doing an excellent job of performing under that defense. So again, with 17 seconds left, Blue Alliance, a big cycle that just came up. Red Alliance really not able to respond to that, as there's not enough power cells on the field for them to do so. So it'll have to come down to the climbs. With 7 seconds left in the match, Yang firing off some final shots before he gets it in. He's going to slide in with that OG cook hanger and pull himself up. At the end, it will be blue, but only by the skin of their teeth. 549 to 533. An incredibly close match the whole way, back and forth. And look at the breakdown here. This is another close one. Only 7 power cells separating these two alliances. Red Alliance this time had the advantage in auto, but Blue says it's fine, we're going to bring it back. And with 366 teleop points, even without the balance, they were able to take the win, just having better cycling power altogether. Jeff, do you have any other points in that match? Anything you noticed that you thought was really outstanding?
Something, kind of 2 points here. One thing I noticed was that when the Blue Alliance was down, they were doing 2 offense and 1 defense. Bacon was kind of dedicating most of his time to defense, and then they noticed that they were down and they switched to triple offense with just occasional bumps. And I think that's where they really started making their comeback. And another thing, with regards to RJ declining Panda, maybe that was the right decision, but it's not always, as we can see in FRC, it's not always that maybe there's better options available. You also have to think about the backswing, especially in a round robin situation like this. Maybe RJ9 wanted more options for that second pick. And as we can see, he first picked Bacon, and with that second pick, picked up Labib, and Labib scored 178 on his own. So that backswing strategy definitely benefited the number 4 alliance.
For sure, and we also saw too, just on numbers, RJ did outscore Panda, so definitely something that came in, maybe a good call from him, but it was definitely not easy. Starting down, having to work your way back up. It's interesting to see kind of these teams take on the different meta strategies. But now we are back. Looks like we've got some similar lineups here, as we've got our number 1 alliance that's again, captained by Brennan. First pick, Nick 862, and on the backswing, Colin, following or competing against the number 2 seed of Anthony, Cone, and Rude Rooster. So this one, I think we're in for a really good match, and we'll just get it straight underway. With all 6 robots on the move. Really, autonomous here is going to make a huge difference because you cannot afford to be down in a match of this high caliber. First to move is the Red Alliance. They get the first few power cells up, and it looks like it may be them with the advantage out of autonomous, but neither alliance really putting up very high scores. We saw both alliances doing better in the last match. So these alliances may be a little bit sloppy due to their robot choices. We've yet to find out. Cone now dealing with the defense from Colin. Having to deal with that, allowing for some counter defense. Anthony scoring away. Nick 862 counter defending Rude Rooster and actually getting teched out. That's a fatal error in this matchup. Can't be doing that. He was trying to counter defend for Brennan to score, which was working, but that extra tech foul not helping. Colin, though, putting up a quick volley of shots on his own does help contribute back to those Red Alliance points, which they really need at the moment. Now it's the turret versus the turret before Colin pulls off to go back across the field. But right now, a close match here, 215 to 205. What should be a dominant first alliance really starting to struggle a little bit here, not getting as many power cells in as they'd like. And again, that mistake from Nick earlier making a fair chunk of the difference here. 239 to 230 though, so number 1 alliance still with the advantage here with a minute left in the match. 254 to 254, but of course the points were climbing. As I said, that not quite a tie here, but it's about as close as you can get. Only a few power cells separating each alliance. Colin, though, putting up a volley of shots, so not full-time defending like some of the other alliances may have been showing, but Colin really working on just going across the field and shooting from whatever angle he can. That's allowing a little bit more versatility from that number 1 alliance, and currently working to their advantage. So they are up by 10 points, but 10 points is not a lot, especially when they're cycling as fast as they are. 350 now, Blue Alliance with the advantage, but Nick and Brennan are going to come in with a big volley, and Colin defending Rude Rooster as best as he can. Anthony now in on the party, but Rude Rooster gets tech fouled out. A crucial mistake coming in nullifies the mistake Nick made earlier. We're going to see the score now bounce up 430 to 396. Red Alliance with the advantage now, but it's going to come down to the climbs. A missed climb could seal the deal for either one of these alliances. We'll have to see who ends up performing under pressure with 5 seconds left. We're seeing Nick, a little issue lining up, but it looks like he did get in time. The robots are up, and it looks like it will be your number 1 alliance taking it, but again, a very close match. 557 to 531 in what was one of the highest stakes games of this elimination round robin. The number 1 alliance just coming out on top. Match under review, we're seeing come in now, but very well done by both alliances here. You're seeing identical endgame, identical penalty points. Red Alliance having the advantage in auto and using that essentially to seal the deal. But what a close match, Jeff.
I agree. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, just watching number 1 alliance actually change their strategy, which isn't a bad idea in this round robin scenario. Changing up your strategy so that other alliances can't predict what you're going to do, and obviously that paid off. We did see a bit of a low auto score from both alliances, but it looked like both alliances were trying something a little different. I noticed on the number 1 alliance especially that Colin during auto swung all the way in front of his partners to shoot from the right side, even though he started left, but that allowed him to get to the loading station faster. And clearly those 11 power cells, that could have been the difference right there. That's pretty much a single cycle with a fully loaded hopper.
For sure, and I think we were definitely seeing both alliances use that turret very well. Colin doing a lot of that shooting from a side angle that allowed Brennan and Nick to get the position they deserve, like not deserve, but like the position they needed basically to get the shots off because they don't have that turret ability. Also interesting seeing though, we saw basically the same thing come in from their opponents. Rude Rooster running that alternative robot as well, and doing so while playing defense. It was interesting to see the two of them, Colin versus Rude Rooster, battle of the turrets at some points during the match. But I think for now, we really saw, a lot of raw scoring power. And I think this was one of those matches that would have been, was Nick the right pick over Cone? I think honestly it was a toss-up either way. Was not envious of Brennan having to make that decision, but I think regardless, we are in for a heck of a series here. We're going to see some more matches coming in, and we're seeing a lot of very capable robots, to say the least.
Yeah, and that toss-up between Nick and Cone, I mean, they were 3 points apart. That's one power cell, so really, they're very even. I mean, you see situations like this in events all the time, both in SRC and FRC, where the number one seed really has a toss-up, and it comes down to strategy and who you can synergize with. So maybe Brennan felt that he could synergize more with Nick than Cone, or maybe it really was just the flip of a coin.
So
yeah. Yes, Cobby, tell us the news.
15-point penalty will be applied against the Blue Alliance, giving the Red Alliance an additional 15 points to make it a final score of 572 to 531.
Would you mind explaining what that foul was for us?
Yeah, one of the blue robots crossed the autonomous line, or the initiation line during autonomous.
Fair enough. So yes, of course, in SRC, we do have the regulation that states that you can't cross the initiation line during that 15-point double, or that 15-second double point period, as Jeff was referring to it. It just makes it a little bit more fair for everyone. So that does obviously not change the outcome of the match, but it's good to know for the next one. If you're, thinking, strategizing, remember, head ref has eyes in the back of his head and he'll see everything you do. So just keep an eye out on that.
Can verify.
Cobby has multiple eyeballs.
Yes.
Yes, I do have multiple, also known as 2.
Same thing.
Going into this next match, we have the number 4 versus, is this the number 5? Number 5. I got my numbers right. So number 5 looks like they're still going to be using 2 turret bots, while number 4 is going to be using all 3 OG bots. We'll see how that plays out for each alliance. Doing a bit of victory spins in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and I mean, the number 4 alliance did pull out a win in their last match after a bit of a, difficult start. You have to face the number 1 seed in your first match. Have fun. But they seem to have gotten their footing in a very close match against the number 3 alliance. Be interested to see what they can pull out against the number 5 seed. As I have the hiccups, so I'm gonna let Jeff take this one.
Yeah, and right out of auto, we see very close scores, 103 to 102 in favor of red. 1.1 power cell difference. Ooh, Bacon getting tipped over into that foul zone. That is not going to be good for the Blue Alliance. Red still not quite caught up. Maybe focused a little too much on trying to get that penalty. That can happen. But red and blue just going to put it behind them and continue cycling as if nothing has happened. Blue, Bacon heading back to score. Labib reloading. Not a lot of power cells in the blue loading station right now. So Labib is going to wait around a little bit. Jake trying to defend against Labib as Greg getting overrun by those power cells at the loading station. You don't want to leave too many of those behind. The opposing alliance can swoop in and grab them if you're not careful. Blue looking to block that from happening. Looks like Labib getting caught in a danger zone. Just able to wiggle his way out of there. That would have been disaster for the Blue Alliance. Oh, and he's back. Oh no, Labib fouled out. A good save there, and then unfortunately got pinned again. Good teamwork by the Red Alliance getting that penalty. Looks like a bit of double defense on blue. Not sure if that was intentional or maybe a communication error, but there are very few power cells in that blue loading station, so maybe defense is the best move for this Blue Alliance. Sometimes the best offense is defense. But right now we see 43 seconds left, 30 points separating these two alliances, but only 4 power cells. Looks like Red Alliance just a little more precise with their shots, and that foul definitely helps out. From those 2 fouls, I should say, from the Blue Alliance, definitely helping them out. Labib looking to defend against Jake and Richard as RJ swapping out, heading to defend. Labib reloading. Bacon unloading a volley of shots as Greg starts to play defense. Bacon in a dangerous position, gets fouled out again. This is disaster for the number 4 alliance. It looks like RJ9 Not sure if that was a foul or if they self-reset, but 7 seconds left, and this is kind of a runaway, but Red could still throw their climbs and give it to the Blue Alliance. But it looks like at the end, unofficially, 475 to 424 in favor of the Red Alliance. It is worth noting, though, that Blue actually did score 3 more power cells than Red.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes down to look at the 60 points in penalties. I mean, that frankly, that is your win. The Blue Alliance just not able to keep it clean. Maybe going for a few extra risks. You don't need to do that when you are in the lead, but they will take that one as a chip on the shoulder, and I'm sure they'll learn from that in their next match. But regardless, that is your number 5 Alliance taking the upset there, actually. 475 to 424. Just going to get a check-in, make sure that score is good to go.
The score is official and will stand.
Yep, so that means that is going to be it's going to be in the books. The win was in the bag, and now it's in the books. Moving on. We're going to see Alliance number 1 versus Alliance number 3 now. Brennan, Nick, Colin versus Panda, Yanyang, and Jack. So, I think something here that we haven't seen number 1 Alliance do very well, to be honest, is Autonomous. We've seen better Autonomous modes come out from almost every other Alliance. This is one area where they're really lacking, and maybe they are just smurfing. Maybe they're just not here to show their best things and they're hiding it for finals. But you have to be careful doing that. You gotta make sure you don't lose, because if you do lose, that is the first tiebreaker that you're throwing when you smurf. So we'll see if they're able to kind of pull themselves a bit more together in those first 15 seconds of the match.
All right, and it looks like number 1's still going with that 1 turret bot, just to keep that in mind.
So as the match is underway, we do see the same strategy. Both alliances going with 1 turret bot, Jack and Colin, so they're both the later picks. But as robots get underway, it will be advantage to Red. So having a slightly better autonomous mode, helping them out this time. We'll see if they're able to run away with the lead. Colin getting hit by Yanyang, but because of that turret, able to survive the defense a little bit better. And it looks like Yanyang will foul out already. So a very good start to this match if you're the Red Alliance, but the Blue Alliance seems like anything that could go wrong has. As Jack 155 putting up a volley of shots. Look like they may be on a 3 offense strategy for now. We'll see if that works for them, whereas Colin still kind of keeping an eye out for Jack's maybe some bumps coming in, and is able to just pick up those power cells really quickly and fire them off from all angles. 237 to 202, so currently that's your speed. Looks like we had a little bit of a slow moment on the server, but everyone back and moving quickly. Brennan, 4476, makes his way under the trench as only the short robots can do. We'll have to face Yanyang. Colin blocking it though, so Colin able to fire off those shots and do some of his own in the inner port, while Nick 862 has come to join. Panda 4456 making his way across the field, pops that hopper. Colin not able to get any power cells out from that drop, but did have some in his robot already that he fires away. 360 to 289 with about a 15 power cell gap between these two with 50 seconds left. So that will be the Red Alliance with the advantage here by about 75 points, but the Blue Alliance still has time to bring it back. They'll just have to do something, and we do see Yanyang stealing the power cells from the red human loading zone, making a big difference. That'll definitely help the Blue Alliance in their quest to make the comeback, because they're also caught up on power cells scored. Now only about 7 or 8 different between the two. As I say that, Brennan, of course, putting up a volley of shots to prove me wrong, but Colin and Nick will not let him do all the work. Right now, Nick 862 putting in 199 points, kind of carrying this alliance actually. Brennan letting him kind of take the glory, show that it was the right pick perhaps. With 12 seconds left, this one's pretty much over. 564 to 462. We do have one Red Alliance robot up, and with 5 seconds left, Nick 862 and Brennan will join him as well to see our first plus 600 point score of the evening. 614 to 564. That's insane. And that just happened here in a second Roblox competition tournament. 614 to 564, raw score of 599. That I don't know what to say. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and You know, 564 points from the number 5 alliance is nothing to sneeze at, but I mean, going against 614, that's a tough one to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, look at any other match we've seen thus far. That would have won all but one of the matches we've seen in round robin. That score. The only other score we've had that high that would have beat that is the 572 put up by, again, the number 1 alliance. So, I mean, the number 3 alliance is not here to screw around. They may have had a tough loss to the number 4 alliance last time. They had a lot of penalties there, but they are here to play. And they, I mean, number 3 alliance, do not count them out just yet, to say the least. They may have had a tough start, but they could easily, win their next 2 matches, I think, with scores, or their next match with a score like that.
Yeah, and something to keep a note of, I noticed that in the match, how Colin is playing that counter defensive position and trying to go for those straight power cells. Blue Alliance actually still did a really good job of pushing them into the corner, because that neutron spot isn't very good at picking up the power cells from the very corner of the field as much as the OG bot is.
Right, and we have got the news that score will stand. So that means that the 614 is locked in. That's going to be our high score of the afternoon. Even the 599 would have been the high score, but I know I said number 1 was smurfing. Clearly I was right, because this is unprecedented here.
All right, we're just waiting for a few robots to connect for the next match.
Yeah, we'll preview it for you. It's going to be Alliance number 4 versus Alliance number 2. So in the red bumpers, Alliance 4, RJ9, Bacon, and Labib. Alliance number 2 going to be Anthony, Cone, and Rude Rooster. Surprise, nothing's changed as for your roster lineups.
All right, and it looks like 3 OG bots versus 2 OG bots and 1 neutrons.
I think I'll be interested to see how this one goes. Number 4 has definitely been running that with some success. Take it away.
All right, and right away in auto, we actually see Cone went all the way across the rendezvous to steal some of Red's power cells, and it definitely looks like it worked. Labib only able to grab about 4 power cells. Even still, Red Alliance coming out on top, 108 to 96 out of auto. 20 power cells scored each, so it looks like Red was just a little more precise with their scoring. All 3 blue robots at their loading station. Bacon looking for someone to defend, but Blue Alliance a little bit slow on that cycle. No power cells for Red Alliance to grab, no one for Bacon to defend, as Bacon ends up getting fouled out. That is unfortunate, but trying to defend against 3 bots like that is a risk you have to take, and that puts Blue Alliance in the lead, 173 to 165. Cone unloading a volley of shots. RJ9 and Labib unloading a volley of shots. Bacon not going to let his other 2 Alliance members take all the glory, unloading his own volley. Despite the bumps from Cone, Bacon's still able to make all of those power cells. As Bacon goes back to play defense on Rooster, Rooster going to counter defend and then reload for another cycle. Looks like Red is employing the, I should say cyclical, it is a cycle game, but the cyclical strategy where they have 2 reload, 1 defend, and then reload, kind of offsetting so that way you're not getting in your alliance partner's way. Blue Alliance looking to start doing the same thing. Rooster coming back after Cone unloaded, and Anthony about to come shoot after Rooster is done. So very much staggered strategies from these alliances, trying to make sure that they can utilize as much of that field space as they can. Blue Alliance looks like they're dropping a lot of power cells on their side of the field, and RJ9 ends up getting fouled out. That is another tech foul, giving Blue Alliance that lead. But without those 30 points, Blue Alliance would be behind, so I can see them definitely looking to score as many penalties off this alliance as they can. Red Alliance, RJ9 and Bacon unloading a volley. Anthony just finished unloading a volley. Cone reloading. Labib and Bacon looking like they're getting in each other's way a little bit. But Bacon now collecting all his power cells as RJ9 comes in behind them. Not going to dump the human loading station, making sure that Blue Alliance has no opportunity. 5 seconds left, though, and these teams are still going for shots. Now they're in the rendezvous point climbing, and very last-second clutch climbs by the Red Alliance. But it is still the Blue Alliance unofficially 518 to 495.
Yeah, so another one where we see penalties actually really hurting that alliance of RJ9, Bacon, and Labib. I'm pretty sure that's the second match they've lost on penalties thus far. Jeff, you can correct me if I'm wrong. They were the ones who scored 60 or had 60 penalty points against them last time, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think, for that number 3 or that the number 4 seed, really struggling with the rules here. You need to follow the rules. I think with that, they are, once that score gets locked in, they are one match left. So they still have a chance at making it into the bracket, into the finals. But if they're gonna do that, they really need to clean up their act. Frankly, they've got the skills to play and to play hard. They're scoring more power cells, more auto points, more teleop points, albeit by only 1. But when you're, if you're not miles better than your competitors, you can't just give away 30 points like that. Not at this caliber of play. That's kind of all I have to say about that. And I think Blue Alliance also not having their best match. I think they got lucky with the fouls. Maybe spent too much time trying to get the fouls and not enough time trying to score, but it worked out for them in the end.
It is
Right,
definitely not. It's not the. I don't think it's the Alliance not following the rules that's causing the penalties. It is the other Alliance that is forcing the penalties. It is definitely some active defense, not just some. Not them just getting trapped
for sure.
for defending.
For sure. And you can kind of notice because penalty points aren't, or they're evenly distributed across alliances for contribution, if I remember correctly.
No, it is the robot that causes the penalty that gets the points for it.
Okay. So yeah, something to notice in that last match though was that Cone scored almost 30 fewer points than he normally does. So maybe letting his teammates go get those fouls, making sure to lock those in, ended up working out for them though. So. Tegan, you want to take this next match?
Yeah, for sure. While we get this match underway, just want to give a shout out because in Twitch chat, Richard redeeming 3,000 fun bucks to get a shout out. So here it is. Hello, Richard. Look at those victory spins. Very well done. You are spinning quite victoriously. But you have to play the match if you want to do the victory spins. So why don't we get this underway? Again, our number 5 alliance in the red bumpers versus our number 3 alliance in the blue. We'll get this match underway. So, robots on the move. We do see, again, the 2 neutrons on red with only, compared to the 1, blue has a little bit of a tangle in the rendezvous zone in auto between, I believe that was Richard and Yan Yang. Gonna have the better effect on the blue alliance as red will be 89 to 98 as we do get this match underway. Yan Yang gonna pick up all the power cells he can from that human player station, and Panda's there to take the extras, so Richard can't grab any. But I have been hearing a lot of people talk about the grabs on that neutron robot. And we know that Richard does like to play heavy defense, so we'll see if that comes through, because right now, Red Alliance needs something like that. They are down 139 to 154. As Jack 155 puts up a volley of shots. Not that I really know what a volley even means. He does it anyway. Yan Yang doing the same. Really just trying to get as many points possible. And he does have to deal with that defense from Richard. Richard who's it looks like he's grabbed that robot and is pulling him slowly across the field. His teammates trying to help him get free, but is unable to. So that grab Richard did might be part of the reason why we see him on that 125 robot. We know that Richard is prone to doing things like that in other editions, and it looks like it might be possible for him yet again. 217 to 236, now your current score, and it looks like he is back for more, trying to find someone to eat. It looks like Greg may have done the same, and that means that Panda now gets fouled out. So this is going to be another high foul scoring match, and right now, Red Alliance has used that to their advantage. They are back in this one, only 2 points down. Very interesting to see the different strategies here. Sometimes you want to just foul your opponents out, I guess. Richard also not having to use the time to line up. He's able to just shoot him away because he has that turret. Is now making his way to Panda, maybe looking for a target. Mostly just playing standard defense as he picks up the power cells, but we'll see if he changes to another strategy later. We do have the Red Alliance now taking the lead, but it looks like Greg is going to get caught between a rock and a hard place, or at least a wall and a robot and a human player station. He does respawn on top of his alliance partners, so that's chaos for the Red Alliance with only 27 seconds left. Greg's going to have to respawn again to get off of Jake, and while he's at it, Richard getting trapped between the truss respawns as well. So while Red Alliance works so diligently to get get back after being down out of auto. They just kind of threw it away in the last few seconds of this match here. Richard having to line up in the center with 15 seconds left, but it looks like it was going to be red, and now it is blue after a failed climb from red as well. So 519 to 407. That's going to be your number 3 alliance taking the victory in what was a different type of match. I mean, that's kind of all I can say about it. I think, you get the fouls. You're trying to grab your opponent. You get the fouls. Red Alliance did that. And then in the last 30 seconds, they got got fouled out twice. So all that hard work at the time they spent to foul just kind of backfired on them. And when they were doing that, they could have been scoring. So I think, yeah.
And definitely the missed climbs
for sure.
plural from red definitely made the difference there. Looks like they would have scored, what is that, math, 55 more points, so not quite enough to catch up to that blue alliance, but those missing climbs like that can really tank your average scores, which are so necessary if you want to have those tiebreakers.
For sure, and we did see also Autonomous being the tiebreaker here. Neither alliance scoring above 100 points, which is kind of a minimum here if you want to lock your spot in the finals. So I'll take a look at our bracket, see if we have anyone, locked in thus far. I don't believe we do, but anything could change here.
And you may have noticed that match under review graphic on your screen. We have just gotten word that the score will stand, so we are good to lock those in.
So fantastic. We have 2 matches left, one on the science field, one on the technology field. This one's going to be a doozy here. Jake, Greg, and Richard are going to be facing off against Brennan, Nick, and Colin. So your number 1 versus your number 5 seed. Obviously, your number 1 alliance favored to win in theory. But number 5 definitely showing a lot of strength in certain aspects of the game here. Would not be surprised if they're able to pull something out. So the only robot who have completed their matches is going to be so far Alliance number 4 is done their matches for the afternoon. They are not going to move on to the next round. Unfortunately, they are locked out. But it looks like if Alliance 2 loses, Alliance 3 and Alliance 5 could still do this, but for that to happen, Alliance number 1 needs to lose. Alliance 5 needs to beat Alliance number 1. Alliance number 2 needs to lose. And then from there, it's a matter of who has the higher autonomous score between Alliance 3 and Alliance 5. Right now, 3 has the advantage over 5. So, still anybody's game. Go ahead.
Oh, and in this match, number 5 definitely keeping it close. They are aware of what's at stake. They do not want to be locked out of finals. They want to say, hey, we know you're the number 1 alliance, but we still want your spot. So number 1 alliance trying to make sure that doesn't happen. As Colin picking up those power cells from the blue station, able to just shoot them without even lining up from that turret. Richard gonna use Alliance 1 strategy against them, picking up a lot of Red's power cells that they left behind. So lots of dynamic strategies coming from this match. We see that Red Alliance once again only using 1 neutron bot, while Blue Alliance using 2. We'll see if that makes a difference. Looks like power cell wise, Red Alliance ahead by about 13. But Blue definitely going to try and speed up their cycles to catch up to that power cell count. Nick unloading a volley. Colin unfortunately missed those shots. That could be the difference makers. He now has to slow down and lose a cycle in the process. Richard going to try and make sure to slow down those cycles even further. Looks like it's working as Blue is starting to catch up. And right as I say that, Colin unloading another volley of power cells, but Greg back as well, making sure that they can catch up to this number 1 alliance. 389 to 388. This is very close. Under 30 seconds now, and Blue has just pulled ahead as Nick is going to come back and shoot up a volley to keep the score in Red's favor. But Greg comes back for another cycle, making sure that Blue Alliance can still get this victory with the climbs. Greg defending against Nick a little bit. None of the Blue Alliance robots have lined up to climb. That may be the difference maker here with 3, 2, 1. Looks like all 6 robots made it up, but it is unofficially 526 to 490 in favor of the number 1 alliance.
Yeah, and I mean, really, the Blue Alliance had it in their grasp. They definitely had the potential here, and the misclimb and balance is basically what does it to them. With the win here, they had the shot to make it into finals, and with that, their shot's over. But we definitely saw a lot of missed shots coming in from both these alliances. Brennan and Colin, kind of letting Nick do all the scoring here. Nick, 240 points to his name. But very well done still. That was a good effort from that number 5 alliance, keeping it close. I don't think the number 1 alliance is smurfing, which means I think they should be worried heading into finals. They've got some competition coming their way. They haven't really swept any of these matches very, decisively yet. So I'd be interested to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. So Alliance 1 has locked their position into the finals, and now it's up to Alliance 2 versus Alliance 3 to see who our last finalist is.
Yeah, so the score does stand. This one is locked in. We're going to move now to our next match, which is going to be our final round robin match for the final spot. So, Alliance number 2 versus Alliance number 3. If Alliance number 2 wins, they're locked in. If Alliance number 3 wins, it goes to the tiebreaker. So then it needs to be whoever has the higher auto score in this match. So it'll be definitely interesting. So Anthony, Cone, and Rude Rooster win, and you're in. Number 3 alliance, Panda, Yanyang, and Jack having that chance to fight for their lives here.
And right now,
see how they do.
It does look like Alliance 3's total cumulative auto score is higher than Alliance 2's. So, it's possible that that they would take this if they win.
Yeah, so right now, auto score tiebreaker is 314 for Alliance number 2 and 326 for Alliance number 3. So not a lot, but definitely something to be considered. If you've got the, I guess for Alliance number 3 to move on, they're not too worried. If Alliance number 2 loses, they still have a shot, but they would need to outscore in Autonomous and lose after that. So
something to keep in mind is that this number 3 alliance is the alliance that was facing number 1 when they put up that 600 score, and the number 3 scored 564, so they definitely could take this match.
For sure, it's a bit of a toss-up. Chat, we want to hear who you're rooting for here, Red Alliance or Blue Alliance. I'd love to get you guys involved as well, who you think will win. Good luck to everyone, but this is the final round robin, and it's awesome that we have a showdown for the final spot, and it's between these two teams, so why don't we get this underway?
It's the final round robin. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so lights out and away we go. Robots are on the move. Remember, Autonomous here is critical, especially to that number 3 alliance, and Cone knew that because he was playing around with Yanyang, and it looks like that means that the Red Alliance there may take the advantage out of Autonomous. With that, I believe that does lock in the victor here, but we're not, or the slot here, but we still got to play out the match. Robots on the move here, 124 to 98, your current score, as Panda and Jack fighting hard, trying to put up as many power cells as they can here. Cone and Anthony trying to score, getting defended heavily by Jack 155. Looks like Cone may be trapped in a pin there, but does get out after getting his bumper released by Jack. 169 to 157. So Red Alliance with the advantage here, but Blue Alliance still fighting hard, fighting tooth and nail for every power cell they can get in. Cone giving Panda a difficult time, Panda having to defend for Yanyang, and now swapping off, we see Yanyang playing some defense on Rude Rooster and Cone to allow Panda and Jack to score. We did see a respawn across the field, so 233 to 204 as one of the Blue Alliance robots got teched out earlier. That is helping the Red Alliance pull away. Currently 239 to 207 with Rude Rooster now getting spawned out, so that'll help out the Blue Alliance, who is bringing it back 259 to 253, make that 268 now as a volley goes up from the Rude Rooster and Cone there as well. Anthony trying to get the power cells that come in from the Blue Alliance robots as they get shot. Jack dealing with the defense from Rude Rooster, but because of that turret, able to get all of those in, albeit not in the inner port, So we've seen precision matter before as well, but at least they're getting the 2 points in. Panda, a big volley coming in, and Cone, instead of going for the defense, going for the 2 power cells that missed, picking up those power cells and taking them across the field quite quickly, going to put those up himself for some extra points with 30 seconds left in the match. Red Alliance does have the lead, 366 to 335. But it's still anybody's game here. We've seen climbs happen and climbs fail in the last 20 seconds of this match, so it's still anybody's game here. But Blue Alliance has to put up this volley if they want to keep it close. Looks like Panda, Yanyang both doing so in the dying seconds of the match. With 13 seconds left, a little bit of contact perhaps, as we see Rude Rooster already up for that Red Alliance. As the score ticks down, Red does have the advantage, but we'll see what happens with the climbs. It looks like it will be the Red Alliance who takes it. Score not yet final, but the unofficial victor is going to be the number 2 Alliance, which means if it stands, they are going to be the ones headed to the finals, and it is. So it's going to be the number 1 Alliance versus the number 2 Alliance. Very heavy hitters coming in. I mean, I'm excited. But again, very well done to all of our alliances. Alliances 3, 4, and 5. You guys did great. We had some amazing gameplay in the round robin format. Stick with us, please. We would love to still have you here cheering on the victors and the finalists. We'd love to see you in Twitch chat with your hype emotes. But other than that, I mean, I'm looking forward to a very high scoring match coming up.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be interesting because now the number 1 and number 2 alliances have seen each other's strategies. And number 1, both of them have been changing up their strategies throughout the round robin. So it'll be interesting to see what they deploy in finals, and that's probably what's going to be what decides each match.
For sure, and this is going to be a best of 3 series, or the first of 2 rather. We'll see kind of what happens throughout that, but something I've noticed, while Alliance number 2 did lose to Alliance number 1, their auto score is the same. Actually. Yes. So their auto score being the same, like these are about as closely matched as you can get, these 2 alliances. And in the Alliance number 1 versus Alliance number 2 matchup, it did go by 40 points to that Red Alliance, but we did see definitely a lot of potential coming out of both of them before we get underway.
And as we go into finals, it's important to note that multiple people on the field have won previous events. So this is definitely not the first rodeo for several of them.
So, again, previewing these teams before we get underway. Red Alliance, Alliance number 1, Brennan 4476, Nick 862, and Colin. I mean, here we've got a lot of history. Nick and Brennan, 2 of our top players in the world. We also have Colin, who's been a very consistent, mid-pack person ready to make a bit of a breakout. He stood out as being the only person to play on 2481 for all of his qualification matches. Number 1 Alliance noticed that, picked him up, and now he's been playing on Neutrons. We also have the number 2 Alliance. So Anthony captaining this one. Anthony, I believe, between Cone and Anthony, those are the top 2 most matches played. Could be different now, but it definitely was for a while. People in Twitch, in game chat, talking about making it a tie. Don't do that to us, please. And then we also have Rude Rooster, who's been around as well for a lot of, sim tournaments, some STC stuff as well. We've seen him here, and he's ready to play on this 125 robot that he's on the field with.
And if I recall correctly, I believe 4 of these bots played in Season 1, Event 1, while the other 2 did not join until later. And it's 2 on each alliance that have been around since the beginning. So I believe that's Brennan, Colin, Rooster, and Anthony that have been around since the start. And then Nick and Cone joined, I believe, Event 4 or 5.
And if I'm checking this right, I believe Rude Rooster is the only one who doesn't have a title to his name yet. All of these robots having won events previously. We've got a lot of powerhouses here. I mean, I don't think you could have a lineup much more stacked than these 2, to be honest.
Yeah, and definitely these are going to be some very exciting matches. this would upset some people if this were to occur in 6-mans, because this would definitely mess with some elos.
I believe
sure.
I believe that the only 2 people who have won an event in this are Brennan and Nick. I don't
Cone.
think any of the other people have
Cone has also won an event,
official SRC event.
and
Oh, not a tournament like this tournament. Not this style. For
Well,
SRC.
not a round robin tournament. People have won SRC tournaments. Where's
Cone
our SRC?
and
Where's the SRC Hall of Fame?
I don't believe that any of
I haven't updated it. I'm sorry.
Blue Alliance. I think it's updated.
Oh, I haven't been updated
one,
my end.
one of this server. So
I have
in
not worked on the
the
job
Hall of
program.
Fame has been updated. The Hall of Fame
Okay.
is updated.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah, in
So-
official SRC district events, that
yes. So
the only
Brennan,
people that have won are Brennan and Nick.
Brennan, Nick. I'm just gonna scroll through as well. I take that back. Rude Rooster actually has won a district event. He won district event number 5. So it's been a while, but looking for another medal here. Anthony was finalist. Colin was Colin was finalist. So you get the 52-54 award.
And Cone was the winner of the May All-Star event and the 2v2 double elimination event, but those were not official district events.
For sure. So, I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff here. And then, of course, actually, of the 3, we have 3 of these members were on Team Cone in the All-Star event. So, Brennan was obviously not on Team Cone. Brennan was on Team Brennan. But we've got some crazy people here in this match. I think this is one to be reckoned with, to say the least. But yes, 3 people in here looking for a title for the first time. And 3 people here looking to defend some titles as well. Why don't we quit talking, let the robots do the talking? Jeff, take us into finals.
All right. And getting this match underway, we see a rush towards the center of the field in double points / auto / whatever colloquial you've attached. Looks like both alliances started shooting at around the same time. Very close auto scores until that last couple seconds there. Red Alliance scoring 4 more out of auto, 128 to, I believe, 102 was auto, and then Blue scored a couple more. But it looks like Red Robot got fouled out, immediately giving Blue the lead, but Red Alliance is going to quickly try and make that up with some fast cycles. Blue Alliance trying to hold on to that lead. They definitely want to upset the number 1 alliance here. Very close scores this early in the match, 195 to 218, as all 3 Red Robots are coming back to unload a volley. We'll see how much this changes the score. It does give Red Alliance the lead again, but we have 2 Blue Alliance Robots shooting, and Blue Alliance has taken the lead once again by 11 points, even though they've at that point they had scored 1 less power cell, so precision definitely mattering in this match. We see a bit of a tussle in the rendezvous point. Lots of power cells left at that Blue Alliance loading station. Colin definitely going to take advantage, try to pick up as many of those as he can, but he doesn't want to take too much of a risk with the Blue Robots coming back already. Don't want to get any more fouls. It looks like Red Alliance might have retaken the lead, but it is still close. A 2-point match. This is probably the closest match we've seen all day. But Anthony looks like I'm not sure if he got fouled out or if he intentionally reset, but Red Alliance definitely caught up, so that might have been a foul. 412 to 363 as Cone starting to unload a little bit of a hopper jam. That is the issue with the OG bot, is that its hopper loves to jam a lot. Nick in a bad position, unloading a lot of power cells onto the floor while Blue is shooting. You definitely don't want to do that if you don't have a partner there. Colin trying to tussle with Rude Rooster a little bit, hopefully to pick up some of those power cells. Gets caught, but is able to escape that technical foul. 466 to 471. Still a very close match with 15 seconds left. These alliances are going to probably go for a last couple cycles. Very risky, considering a missed climb could be the difference maker. But you want to get those last few shots in to make sure that you take the lead. Still a very close match as robots lining up to climb. And it looks like by 1 point, 573 to 572 unofficially in favor of the Blue Alliance.
Wow, and I mean, that was a match, to say the least. Obviously, we do have, in matches like this, people will take it to the cue box when it's so close, just to be safe. We might see a bit of this. Looks like we do have the score currently under review for the time being. But what a close match. And I mean, for a while, it looked like Red Alliance basically had it. But then at the end, neither alliance really getting the end game, neither alliance having a clean match. I mean, it looks like Red just didn't have the precision of the Blue Alliance. Blue Alliance scoring 399 teleop points with fewer... having scored... They were almost similar out of Autonomous, and 6 power cells making the difference here. But, I mean, we saw a lot of points come up from everyone. Brennan, currently the MVP of the match with 258 points to his name. Cone for an M46 then with 244, Nick 191, Anthony 180, Rude Rooster 149, and Colin 123. But I mean, what happened there? What a crazy match.
And definitely something I've noticed is that a lot of competitors and viewers alike say that auto wins matches. If this was FRC power up, then maybe. But the Blue Alliance here just proved that wrong. They were down 24 points in auto, but they managed to come back in teleop.
Yeah, and I mean, it was an incredibly well done match. They were really working hard on getting those inner port points. We'll see what. It sounds like they're under review for climb defense at the moment. We're gonna find out if that's gonna affect the outcome of the match. But for now, I mean, it literally does not get much closer than that.
Yeah. And definitely that was a risk that both alliances took, getting those last second climbs. It is possible to accidentally hit a bot, but if that bot wasn't touching the bar, it doesn't matter whose rendezvous zone they in. If they aren't touching the bar, then that climb D won't affect anything.
For sure. And you also, like, as the referee, you get essentially the overhead view, right? You have to be able to tell that it impacted, like, that they either glitched through the bar or that they were touching the bar. And it's not an easy call to make. So having been there before, not envious of the referee, having done that job myself, definitely does not make it easier.
Looks like our head ref has joined back. We'll see what Kabi has to say.
The score will remain the same.
All right. So that means that we are going to take this one to a second match with Blue Alliance up by 1, Red Alliance needing it to stay alive. And I mean, if you're the Red Alliance, it was so close, but you got to change something. You can't be losing it in the end game. You got to make sure you're going, if that means you're going with a few extra seconds, you're going with a few extra seconds, because here a balance would have made the difference. Even I believe that is
a third climb would have made the difference, or
a balance, a third climb, a tech foul, one more power cell makes a difference in that situation.
One inner port rather than an outer port makes it a tie.
And then we just have to basically start over. So it's insane here, kind of what we have to, the details when you hit the finals are just so important. We'll see who's able to perform better. See if, maybe that 600 point style can come back from the Red Alliance, or if Blue's going to sweep it in 2. It's going to be a tight match, to say the least, and I am friggin' excited to see this one.
Nice, Spencer. This is a GP13 stream.
I said friggin'.
I know. All right, take it away, Tegan.
Match underway in 3, 2, 1. Red needs this one to stay alive, and Blue is fighting for the win here. This would be the first win for Cone and Anthony. First win for Rooster as a main robot. And we are underway in Autonomous already. Power cells falling on the field. Not going to pop the hoppers yet. And with 2:15, it is a tie again. 122 to 122. So this time it's even closer than before. And it looks like Colin and Rude Rooster are just going to hang out in the middle of the field, screwing around with each other. Rude Rooster's going to get screwed out. He's got to get pinned out. He got screwed in that trade. But the tech foul helping out the Red Alliance now. It is 192 to 172. What a match we've already seen thus far. If it was a tie out of auto, Red Alliance going for the option to go straight for the quick tech seems to help them out a little bit. with the power cells coming in. Rude Rooster, Anthony, and Cone all on scoring duty right now. Triple offensive strategy coming in from the Blue Alliance, and they have taken the lead back despite that 15 points. They are outcycling their opponents for the time being. Colin now playing some heavy defense, picking up those power cells from that human player zone as they drop, the ones that are left by that Blue Alliance, and that's starting to make a bit of a difference, but Blue still has the lead here. Red Alliance is a little bit behind in cycles, and that might really hurt them, especially this late in the match. 1 minute and 10 seconds left. We are seeing Nick, 862, and Brennan trying to cycle as quickly as possible, while Colin mostly playing defense compared to the triple offense strategy of that Blue Alliance. Colin really trying to struggle. There was a bit of a jam in that hopper. He does get it into the inner port. 365 to 375, so Blue Alliance still with the advantage. 50 seconds left in the match. We are going to see Colin maybe looking to move a little bit more towards an offensive strategy here, because the 3 offense is working for that Blue Alliance. 414 to 405 now as Brennan pops the hopper. Nick is going to join him as well. Anthony putting up a big volley for that Blue Alliance while Rude Rooster joins him. Cone, 49-46, sliding in, ready to score. Those power cells did get dropped by Brendan as he had a jam, but luckily Colin is there to pick them right back up. Blue Alliance is starting to run away with it here, 488 to 447, as the robots are trying fast and furiously to score. The triple offense working better for the Blue Alliance for the time being. Right now, we do see, though, with 10 seconds left in the match, this is a bit of a struggle here. We see a lot of contact, and with 5 seconds left, it's always the end game. Those shots missed by Brennan might make the difference here as the climbs go up, 586 to 597, 2 very high scores. But I would not be surprised to see that match go under review. A very chaotic endgame, and it is indeed 586 to 597. But even if it is, essentially, I mean, I don't know what you say about that. It was a very close match the whole way through, but 400 teleop points coming in from that Blue Alliance. Incredibly high scoring. Nick and Brennan both scoring 235 each. I need a breather after that. What a match.
Yeah, definitely that in-game, a lot of risks taken by both alliances. I mean, of course, I'm not the official ref, but it looked like multiple points of contact, so I feel like even if there was contact, it might cancel out because, you know, with that much of a risky in-game, you're either getting double contact, canceling, could be that everybody contacts each other and just calls it a day, but, I mean, lots of risks from both these alliances, but definitely Blue Alliance paying off. I mean, they were tied coming out of auto, Blue Alliance scoring 5 more power cells, and it looked like that may have been the difference maker here. And definitely that tech foul helping out as well. If Blue hadn't gotten that tech foul, it would be 586 to 582. So Blue just absolutely pulling all the stops, trying to take home this victory. And we're waiting for that official score.
Yeah, so something I want to note, right? We've got 359 teleop points. They're even on auto points. Doesn't necessarily mean they were even on power cells scored. Our ref right now just waiting for the VOD to update, so it will be a few more moments. But we are seeing here the 15 points helping out the Red Alliance, because 400 teleop points essentially between 6 power cells means that Blue Alliance also had a lot more precision. And I think the MVP of this match, well, we saw Brennan and Nick doing an incredible job, both of which scoring 235 to make them the MVPs of the event. I think the difference maker for Blue was actually Rude Rooster. Rude Rooster did an excellent job of going on an offensive strategy, which maybe not his strong suit, not necessarily after having played a lot of defense so far. That offense coming in, he scored about 50 more points than Colin, which made up for the difference that Brennan and Nick were able to make up. So Colin, focusing on defense for maybe a little too long, didn't necessarily have the call to pull off, go to offense, and that could have also been the bad call by the Red Alliance in that instance.
Yeah, and definitely a lot of history between these two teams, so I mean, sometimes history is good, sometimes history is bad, you know, in these types of situations where you have to make a call like this. Having history can either make it to where the alliances may argue against each other, or if they played together a lot, they may just say, you know what, let's just forget about it. Let's just make this call and move on. Definitely, we've seen both in the past, but definitely history does make a difference.
And I mean, it's not like anyone's in the question box right now. It's open, so I think this is just gonna be this was prompted by the head ref. It's always good, especially in finals matches, to just make sure you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's. That's pretty much standard. You don't just consider it a day. It looks like we're just getting ready, but yeah.
All right.
We're here in a Twitch chat. We've got that match sucked to play. Cone hit Colin at T = 11. Taken throwing. Rude Rooster got screwed out. Lamau. Nick and Brennan are too OP to be on the same alliance.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
TBD. What if you don't like crumbly cookies?
Then that's just the way the cookie melts.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
All right, I have an announcement.
Okay.
In Endgame, there was contact while a robot was in contact with their bar. So 15-point technical foul will be applied against the Blue Alliance, giving 15 additional points to the Red Alliance. But a Red Alliance robot crossed the initiation line during autonomous, giving an additional 15-point tech foul to the Blue Alliance, making a final score of 612 to 601.
Wow. So a crazy, twisted of events here. Will be your Blue Alliance taking this one 2-0. Taking this one 2-0 in SRC event.
Is that Five Nights at Freddy's cheering? I swear.
I don't know, but that does mean the Blue Alliance with the victory. Very close match indeed. Congratulations to our winners, Anthony, Cone, and Rude Rooster. That will be the first win for Anthony and Cone, both of which getting inducted into the SRC District Event Hall of Fame. Rude Rooster already being there, but now being there of his own account, having been a backup robot last time he was in. So, wow, what a match. We saw some crazy stuff today. A lot of really high-scoring matches. We crossed 600 3 times.
Yeah, and definitely, that last match, I mean, as much as we don't like assigning penalties, that did make both scores above 600, so I think that's one for the history books.
For sure. Imagine scoring 600 points and only being a finalist, but very well done to all of our competitors. You guys did great today. We loved having you here. Thanks for hanging out with us on First Updates Now. Hype emotes in chat. We've got highlight my message. Yeah. Cone and Anthony. Hype. Very close match indeed, but we loved having you guys. And guess what? If you enjoyed today, guess what you can do tomorrow?
Oh no. Oh yes.
Tomorrow there is a Vex event going to be hosted here on First Updates Now. You can tune in, you can play. If you were watching today and want to get in on the action, it's open signups as per usual. So you can just join. Someone might be able to type SRC in chat just to give you the invite link. But in the interim, I'm going to sign off now from First Updates Now. Thank you all for chilling with us today. We loved having you. Take care, have a good night, stay safe, and have fun.
Wash your hands.